I'm just going to say that in probably in May or June, I can't remember when George Rohrbacher, the NORML board member, called up and said, "Do you have the data for all of the arrests going back to 1937? I said, "Well, not entirely. In 1965, yes. A little dicey from 37 to 65, but you can extrapolate." And so a couple weeks later, he called up and he said, 10/10/2008. And I'll let George take it from there. George Rohrbacher.
Thanks, Alan. Well, here we are in Berkeley, California, enjoying the 37th annual NORML conference. And just before I get into my comments, I'd like to just reflect on what NORML is for just a second. One of the founding fathers of America, the only guy that signed the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the treaty with Paris that ended the conflict with Britain, a guy named Benjamin Franklin, actually invented what we're doing here. Everyone knows Benjamin Franklin as the inventor of the bifocal, the inventor of the wood stove, the inventor of the lightning rod, and those three inventions he gave away to the public for free. You could actually patent those things in revolutionary America. But Benjamin Franklin decided, no, America, the world needs these essential items for free. He's also remembered for a lot of social things, like he was the inventor of the University of Pennsylvania, the inventor of the volunteer fire department, the inventor of the lending library. Well, there's one thing that he doesn't get any credit for that Benjamin Franklin invented. He invented the service organization. All of us here in nonprofits like NORML, Kiwanis Club, Rotary, we all stem from the genius of Benjamin Franklin, who came up with the idea that we should get together for the common good and figure out what we can do to assist our society, our community, in becoming better, more efficient, more human, more decent. And that simple little idea, I mean, there have been guilds for hundreds or maybe thousands of years, people pushing their own individual interests forward, but Benjamin Franklin was the first person who ever came up with the idea that we should get together and we should work for the common good. And that's what we're doing right here at NORML today. And I would like to thank you for being here. And the years I've been working with nonprofits, I've been on the board of 18 different nonprofits. I've been at this a few weeks. And I was the executive director of one for 4 years. And I want to just tell you who we have as the executive director of NORML, just based on my experience in nonprofits. We've got the smartest, hardest working executive director of any nonprofit in America. Well, as Alan said, I made a call a few months ago, having tapped away on my calculator until it occurred to me that on the 10th of October, just last Friday, America would cross an incredibly disgusting odometer rollover line. Last Friday, America crossed into the land of having arrested 20 million Americans for marijuana offenses. Starting with the arrest of Samuel Caldwell on October 5, 1937, a few days after the Marijuana Tax Act went into effect, law enforcement has been on the hunt for marijuana users. And hunting was very good in 2007. In fact, the very best year ever. 872,721 Americans were arrested for marijuana offenses.
What was that number again?
872,721. And that was a 5% jump from '06, which was the previous record year. And like a nasty, invasive cancer, this institutionalized arrest machine keeps growing more and more each following year. And this cancer feeds disproportionately on the young and the people of color. And so on October 10, American law enforcement made its 20 millionth marijuana arrest. That's 20 million people fingerprinted, mugshot, handcuffed, incarcerated. That's tens of millions of lives knocked off course, and sometimes with fatal results. And now, after hundreds of billions of dollars expended, making these 20 million arrests, one might rightly ask, what has been accomplished for the good of society? Beyond throwing these people in jail and breaking up their families and confiscating their stuff. What has been accomplished? The answer, nothing. Nothing? Well, what about protecting the children? I mean, that's the line that we all hear. I mean, that's the retort to anything that we say, oh, what about the children? Isn't that the main reason for pot prohibition? Prohibition here fails miserably. Twice as many kids in America, where we've got this draconian prohibition, use drugs and pot as well as use pot in Amsterdam and Holland, where pot has been legal for 30 years. If there's no clearer evidence on the face of the earth that legalization beats prohibition in terms of keeping drugs out of the hands of your children, there isn't any. Pot prohibition makes the problem worse. 20 million arrested. The U.S. Supreme Court has said time and again, they will not fix this social disaster for us. This social disaster requires a legislative fix. Congress must end this 71-year-old tragedy. And what would it be, you might ask? What is it that's going to push Congress over the line to actually do something about this?
Money.
Very good answer. Not only money, but it will end only when America says enough. We can't afford this insanity any longer. Enough. Well, isn't 20 million arrests enough? If that's not enough, what the hell is enough? And as America made these 20 million arrests, who got popped? Who was the person that was led away, put into the back of the patrol car? Was it you? Your mother? Your brother? Your uncle? Your next door neighbor? Your waiter at your favorite restaurant? Tell me, does trashing 20 million decent Americans over this issue make you mad? And if it doesn't, why the hell not?